Hey guys, it's Elisa here. I'm so excited about today's vlog. We're gonna be talking about my story when I was 19 and pregnant. Now, finding out that you're pregnant and you're not trying to get pregnant and you're actually doing everything you should do to avoid pregnancy is not good news. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, how could I let this happen? Before I even get into my story, I want to share why. Why am I willing to be vulnerable and kind of let you into my pregnancy journey? And the reason why is you might be watching this right now facing an unplanned pregnancy yourself. And maybe you're just suspecting that you're pregnant, or you actually have taken the test and you know that you are, and you haven't shared with anyone. And so I want to be vulnerable with you right now because I think there's power in vulnerability, and I think there's power in transparency and sharing. So here we go. I grew up in a very loving home with lots of siblings. And so childhood was really good until age 13, when we had tragedy strike our family. Our mom, who was really just the foundation of our family, had cardiac arrest, and she died very suddenly. Being 13 and losing my mom at that age was really, of course, traumatic, and also left me with a lot of questions about who do I even talk to about starting my period, because there was no way I was going to talk to my dad about that. My life took a little bit of a turn after that tragedy. And even within that same year, I was also a victim of sexual assault. So a lot of trauma within about a year's time. And so out of that, I found myself in and out of different relationships and moving around a lot, had a really tough relationship with my dad. And actually it got so bad around after high school. I was pretty deep into some hardcore drugs that I thought, if I don't, make some decisions that are different, I don't know how things are going to end up. So I moved across the country. I'm from Tucson, Arizona. I am a desert rat, and I moved to Massachusetts. Okay. I never had seen a snow scraper in my life, and I got a snow scraper for Christmas that year. I hadn't made any changes when I had moved, really, even though that was my desire. So I ended up in a very similar group of friends in this new town, and got into a relationship. And at 19 years old, found out that I was pregnant. I mean, I've already been such a disappointment to my family. Immediately, I was like cloaked in shame. And my first thought was, I really need to just have an abortion. I can't take care of myself. I'm really struggling with addiction. And how am I going to take care of another human being? When you get that news, when you see those two lines, your heart stops. I mean, really, that's how it felt. I did what I thought I should do, and I went to the abortion clinic. And I don't really remember all that happened in that first appointment. I don't remember if I spoke with a medical professional, although I may have. I don't remember anyone explaining to me my options, although they could have. I just sort of remember time standing still, and they gave me a brochure and said, take a couple days and call back and schedule your appointment. I don't know. I just felt really compelled to have a conversation with my dad, which is crazy, you guys, because honestly, at that time, my dad and I were barely even speaking. He was a traditional Hispanic, like, do not have sex ever, and all guys ever want from you is to have sex with you. This is really like the sex talk that I had from my dad. And so the last conversation that you would want to have with this man is, I'm pregnant, I'm not married. Oh, and by the way, my boyfriend is Black, which in my family, no one had ever dated, anyone biracially. And so I was concerned about even that, honestly. And so I was surprised that I really felt the need to call him. And I did. I mustered up the courage. It was a Sunday morning from my bedroom that I was staying in at an aunt's house. And I just said, Dad, I have a decision to make. And The thing that my dad said to me was surprising, to say the least, because I couldn't even say the words "I'm pregnant." I had already shamed him so much, and I really felt like this was the nail in the coffin, and that he was going to just let me have it. But he didn't. He said, "You know what, Elisa? Don't have an abortion. I think you will regret it. And if you choose to have this baby, I will help you." For me, because in my heart of hearts, I really didn't want to have an abortion, I needed my dad to say those very words to me. I needed my dad to say, "I will stand with you. I will support you." I didn't think that he would say those words, but he did. And that is what gave me the courage to actually continue the pregnancy. And he was a man of his word. I got on a plane pretty quickly after that phone call and came back home, and he was there when my son was born. He was at the hospital with me. He let me stay with him for a couple years. Lots has happened, and I've been able to pursue my dreams and have a beautiful family now. Maybe you're a single mom who's watching this. You're not alone. Maybe you're someone who has placed for adoption. You're not alone. Or maybe you're someone who's had an abortion. You're not alone. And I'll tell you firsthand, unplanned pregnancy is a challenge. When you're young, when you're 19 like I was, when you have your whole life ahead of you, there's just not, if we're honest, there's not a lot of places that we can have conversations like this. And so it's important for me that you know that I want to be a safe place for us to have conversations about relationships, jobs, crazy parents, all of it. I want to talk about all of it, which is why I want you to subscribe so that you can be a part of this community and we can keep talking about things that might not be the easiest to talk about, but are very important to do so. So subscribe. I can't wait to have you back in my kitchen again.